You can't just roll around and expect to be a Premier League footballer. The Premier League footballers are Premier League footballers because they've worked every single day and they've dedicated their lives to it. I think it's the same with any endeavour.
It sounds like even from the start, like money wasn't a particular motivator for you.
No, I mean, listen, it certainly helps and money gives you choice completely, but the reason that the business was started was I wanted to be involved in fitness. The reason, or one of the reasons now, it's around, I think we've got the chance to genuinely improve the world, improve people's lives. And I'm fortunate, right? I've travelled the world and I've met individuals that the brand has impacted and it has genuinely brought me to tears at times. It's incredible, that feeling. And I want more of that and I want it to impact more people. And ultimately, 16-year-old Ben walked into the gym and he didn't know what to do and he was massively self-conscious and skinny and felt very alone. And the thought of being able to take that away from other people and give them a community, an area to learn, a product that makes them feel like Superman, I think is amazing.
What really strikes me about you and on the interviews I've seen and on your YouTube channel and stuff is that you seem to like genuinely breathe the passion for the business. Because I guess if I imagine another kind of $1 billion business, like for example, they would have like their vision, they would have like their model for, oh, we want to make the world a better place by doing X.
Yes.
And it can always feel a bit hollow because it's just like a corporate promise on their website.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you genuinely, like that is the thing that drives you.
Genuinely love it. Like I said, I've stood I've been to every event that we've done, like all of the large scale events. I've traveled the world and I've met people that have lost weight, built muscle, improved their mental health. And I mean, I said at the start, like the product that we built at the start was for a selfish reason. It's because I wanted that product. And I think because I've had that experience myself of not knowing what to do, not being in a great place, and I've felt the positive effects mentally and physically of fitness, I would love other people to experience it. So yeah, it really resonates with me.
Sick.
I'm excited to hear more about your business, by the way. I want to see the structure you've drawn.
Oh yeah, I'll show you.
I'm fascinated by what it will look like.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, but it's like before it was so like kind of all over the place, and now it feels a bit more streamlined.
Because in many ways, your business model is, or it feels to me, more pioneering than what we're doing, because at least we can lean back on retailers, sportswear brands, tech brands, all these different things and amalgamate it into a structure. I wouldn't know where to start with you.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I'm looking at recently is like TV and film production companies.
Okay.
Because ours is kind of a production company.
Right.
And like, what does it look like? And in fact, the new org chart, like before, the way it was organized was, I was thinking, all right, well, there's me, and then we've got like Angus, who's in charge of like the YouTube channel. We've got Gareth, who's in charge of like the website. Jakob in charge of this. Sort of splitting things up based on the platform.
So basically channel split.
But yeah, basically channel split. Yeah. Whereas now, I think what makes much more sense is splitting it like a production company would in terms of pre-production, production, post-production.
Yeah.
So pre-production is all of the idea generation and the writing. Yeah. Production is me and a videographer, which is currently Angus, who's also a director of operations. And then post-production is our editing team.
Yeah.
And just having that structure, it's like, oh, okay, whether it's a YouTube video we make or a tweet thread or a blog post, or even me writing my book or an online course or anything like that, it all has that pre-production, production, post-production. And therefore, if we've got Angus as director of operations managing that, then theoretically, I can give a vision through our marketing team or directly to our operations saying, hey, I want to make a course about this thing. Yeah. Here is my vision for it. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
And then it goes through that kind of pipeline of pre-production, production, post-production, in theory.
And is it all, so none of it's hardware, as it were, it's all software or it's content, it's all online, not sort of tangible?
We have a new, like, have we got our productivity planner over there? We're launching a line of stationery.
Go on.
This was you're getting a sneak peek. This is like the proof versions. This is the part-time productivity planner.
So why part-time productivity? What does that mean?
Part-time productivity is that, so I think one of the problems, again, I'm solving a selfish problem.
One thing I learned today.
Yeah.
That's like, where have I heard that before? Is that like the Benjamin Franklin sort of thing?
Quite, yeah, I think a lot of people do.
His thing.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Like one of the issues I have with these sorts of planners is that when they've got dates in them, and if I miss a date, then I just get so demotivated and then I will never ever use the planner again and it's going to go in the bin.
Yeah.
So this one, crucially, does not have any dates on it. So you can use it some days, you don't have to use it every day.
Yeah.
But every 7 days it gives you a weekly review. It says, all right, just reflect on your week. And that might not actually be every 7 days, because you might not actually fill it in for 7 days, but it's better than not doing any kind of reflecting at all.
And you've got a might do list as well, which are quite nice. I've never seen that before.
Might do, yeah. I don't like to-do lists because it feels like, I'm being a slave to my to-do list.
Yeah.
Whereas if I call it a might do list, because it's like, oh, I could do this stuff if I wanted to. And then I feel more optimistic, like, yeah, why not? Why not?
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So we're doing like a line of stationery, these sort of like daily to-do list pads if we do it instead. Oh, I was going to ask you about this. So these are some of my mantras, like journey before destination. It's the climb from Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
And the theme, the kind of theme of the book that I'm writing is that, its core message is that productivity and getting things done is not really about working harder. And like the real secret, if there is one, is to learn to enjoy the journey of what you're doing.
Yes.
Because when you're having fun, then productivity takes care of itself.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, does that resonate with you? And do you have any examples from your life where having fun has led to productivity?
Yes. So for me, it's split into two distinct areas. Things I love doing and I genuinely like adore. And now, by the way, also within Gymshark, under the heading of Gymshark, because I love Gymshark so much, I would do anything within Gymshark because I just love it. And I love the fact that it speaks back to the greater sort of mission. Now within that, spend a day in product, love to. Fly over to a factory all day, go to an event, love it, meet people, do you know what I mean? Meet athletes, all that, absolutely adore every second of it. Now, would I spend my Sunday afternoons looking at operational strategies, profit and loss thing, do you know what I mean? Accountancy, finance stuff? No, I probably wouldn't. Under the banner of Gymshark, then sort of get extra enjoyment from it. The thing that's really helped me massively to motivate me to do the things in that second bucket of things I probably wouldn't enjoy as much is having an overarching goal.
Yeah.
So again, when I had this thing in my sort of sight of I want to be a CEO, okay, a CEO needs to understand the customer, the product and the brand. Fine, got it, sorted. But also needs to understand finance and logistics, for example. So because I had this, one, it sat under the banner of Gymshark, and two, I had this broader goal of I want to be a chief exec, it gave me huge motivation to do those things. And all of a sudden it was just so easy for me to spend hours on end learning about them because it spoke back to a goal that I had.
Oh, okay.
So I think I have to have an aim. I have to have a reason for doing things. I'm not just going to learn about something for the sake of learning about it that I don't enjoy.
Okay.
Which I would do with other things.
Yeah. Interesting. So like having that kind of purpose, that meaning behind the thing that you're doing makes the thing more fun.
Yeah. And then, so what I did was I said, I want to be a CEO. I need to do X, Y, and Z. And then I've never been good at just like battering something for like 12 hours straight. I would have to do just a little thing every single day. And then having that goal in my head, like the best example I can give was, I want to be a CEO. I'm terrible at public speaking. So I need to get better at public speaking. It's like one of my things was literally public speaking. And then I sort of navigate through life. And as I'm at an event, whatever, on the tube, chatting to people as you go, oh, what do you do for a living? Spoke to someone and they're like, oh, I'm a public speaking coach. And normally I'd be like, if I didn't have the goal, it would be nice, have a lovely day, see you soon. But because I had this goal and it was in my list, I'm like, oh my God, I'd love to be great at public speaking. Can I take your number? Can we chat some more? Can I learn from you? So this is why I think it's so important to have that goal, because then I think it helps with self-development. So I think it's like, if you don't aim at something, you can't, I just don't think you can't just meander through life and expect to be something. Like, you can't just, roll around and expect to be a Premier League footballer. The Premier League footballers are Premier League footballers because they've worked every single day and they've dedicated their lives to it. So I think it's the same with any endeavor. And that's how I try to dedicate my learning now.
Have you come across the law of attraction kind of stuff?
No, I've heard about it, but I don't really know.
Yeah, so it's there was this book called The Secret that was published, I think, a few decades ago that like went viral back in the day. And the whole principle behind the law of attraction is that it's about like manifestation. That if you really set a goal, if you really believe something, then the law of attraction in the universe will like make it happen for you. Yeah. Then it kind of goes a bit overboard that, if you've got cancer and you believe you don't have cancer, then it will get cured magically. The only reason you're poor is because you just don't believe enough that you're rich.
Wishy-washy then.
It's all, it's very, very wishy-washy. But I think there is some truth to this stuff in that when you manifest, when you have a goal, like I want to become the CEO, you start seeing the opportunities that you wouldn't have seen otherwise.
You see what you look for, don't you?
Like the public speaking thing, or when I decided I wanted to buy a Tesla, suddenly I started seeing Teslas everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
Because you just have that thing, and so your brain turns on to the various options here. So I think that's really cool.
No, honestly, I'm a massive advocate for that. I think just whatever it is, just set an aim. And the thing is that's been really powerful for me is I haven't gone, I want to be a CEO, so I'm going to do these massive things. Like, set the bar so low. And it's only now, looking back, I've realised everything I've ever wanted to do, I've set the bar low. So Gymshark was started because I wanted to be involved in fitness. The website was built because I wanted a website that would transact. I didn't go, I want a multi-billion-dollar business that's one of the greatest brands in the world. It was just those really little things. And by setting the bar low, it then, allows you to take those baby steps, because nothing great is achieved in the short term. It's over prolonged periods of constant progression.
Okay. So what's your kind of low bar now these days, now that you're CEO?
Honestly, consistency.
Okay.
That's my biggest thing at the moment. I just want to be consistent. Steve gave me some advice coming into the chief exec role. He said you just have to be consistent. So I was absolutely knackered yesterday. I went and watched the football on Sunday. Traffic coming out of Wembley was an absolute nightmare. I had about 3 hours sleep. And I went in and I said, if I do one thing today, it is I'm going to be consistent through the day. And I don't want anyone that sort of to notice that Benny's really tired today or whatever. I want to be consistent. So that's my low bar.
Sick.